Welcome to the Dumb Idea Podcast with Mike and Alex. Thank you for joining us, and we hope you enjoy the show. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share this video or podcast on any platform that you're listening on. Please visit us at www.dumbideapodcast.com. Welcome back to another show. This is the first show, we're recording after the new year. So last week's episode, we were actually recorded before the holidays. We kind of recorded about a week or two before the holidays just because we were going to be busy and we still wanted to put something out. So this is the first show after the new year. Hope everyone had happy holidays and happy new year. We actually last, I think it was Monday when we get the snow?
Yeah. It was
Monday, right? Sunday night into Monday. Mm-hmm. We got a fairly decent snowstorm in the mid-Atlantic.
Completely by surprise.
Oh, yeah. Well, the forecasters did an excellent job this time around. Hence, with my sarcasm, hopefully people heard that. But before we get into that, we do have a sponsor for the show. For anyone that does any kind of, I would say, browsing or definitely shopping on the internet like I do. I use Amazon. I'm on Walmart, Best Buy, Target, a bunch of other sites, Kohl's. With people entering in, their names, their addresses, and especially their credit card info, I found it important to use a VPN, which can basically it shows a VPN essentially will show you in a different location, but it can also encrypt your data as it goes to the web. Private internet access, they have a 256-bit encryption, but they also, I believe, use one that's better if you want to, but it does slow down your connection a little bit more. So for me personally, I use private internet access. We will have links on the website at dumbideapodcast.com, and I'll also put a link to private internet access down in the description of the show. One nice thing about private internet access, I do the annual contract, which is about $40 for the month. So I'm roughly spending about $2.50 a month. Now, if you sign up for 2 or 3 years, you can bring that down to as low as, I believe, $1.89 a month, which is incredibly cost efficient. Now, there are other VPNs out there, but this is the one that I personally use, and I've used it for, I want to say at least the last 3 years. I've used others. This one for me is the easiest. It goes on all my devices. It goes on my phone, my wife's phone. It can go on my streaming box and also on my computer. So wherever I'm doing online shopping, I've got my VPN on. My credit card information is safe. My name, my address, email, safe. So if you are looking to get a little bit safer on the internet, I highly suggest you go over to private internet access using our link in the description of this show or on our website at dumbideapodcast.com and go ahead and sign up. It's really cheap and it offers you some great protection. Now back onto the snow.
Speaking of a dumb idea.
Yeah. Now you and I, look, we're from northern locations than we are currently. We're in Annapolis. Close to Annapolis right now. I grew up in upstate New York. Lots of snow there. You went to college up in York. Yep. You also kind of grew up a little bit western Maryland that gets quite a bit more snow than here. To say that the forecasters didn't know how much snow we were going to would be an understatement because the estimates went anywhere from, I think it was like an inch to 85 inches.
What was the meme? The 1 to 78 inches,
yes.
Possibly, maybe.
Yeah. And the funny part is that in our own group chat, me and Josh, who's been on this podcast before, we're both, there's no way this is going to stick. It's 60 degrees out. There was I think during Sunday during the day, it was like 50, 60 degrees out. I was like, no way this is going to stick.
So during halftime from the Ravens game, and even before the game, I was out with my oldest playing football in the street, and I had my shorts and a t-shirt on. So snow was the furthest thing from anyone's mind on Sunday afternoon, And then we were over at the tot lot with the little kids, and they're running around playing, and no one's wearing coats or jackets or.
It was suns out, guns out.
Yeah.
You know, it was nice out. And then Sunday night just started. Temperature dropped like a rock. And then, even if we got snow, I thought we were going to get like 2-3 inches. I didn't think as much would stick as it did.
I didn't think anything was going to stick to the roads.
We ended up getting 11 inches of snow.
Yeah. And oh, yeah.
11.
Yeah. Which for here is significant. And, you know, for those who aren't generally in this area, and I've lived north and south of it, 95 is kind of the rain snow line. So if you're north of 95, so Montgomery, Howard, Carroll, Baltimore counties, all that stuff, generally that's going to be snow. And then we're usually in the annoying ice rain zone.
Right.
Nothing fun. Everything's just cold and gray and muddy. But this storm was actually a southern storm with the highest totals affecting the further southern areas like us. So it was kind of cool. And I was really skeptical of whether it was going to melt. Like, I thought, okay, if we get anything that sticks, it's going to melt on the ground. Like, the kids might have a delay tomorrow. The roads are too warm to sustain it. It's all going to melt, but it didn't. Like, it was coming down so hard. And I actually woke up at about 4 o'clock in the morning, not intentionally. This time I just happened to get up and I looked outside and there was nothing. I'm kind of the snow Scrooge, the bah humbug. And I remember when my wife was a teacher, she'd always call me like, "What do the roads look like? What do the roads look like?" I said, "You're going to school tomorrow. Set your alarm." And I do the same thing with the kids. And at 4, I was like, got them. And then we woke up and it was, nope, there's snow everywhere. So
Me, I was out and then woke up the next day. Well, first of all, I woke up because we got the call that school was canceled. Now, did we get that? I forgot if we got that the night before. Though.
We got the night before.
Okay, so we got that the night before.
It came early and Montgomery County called it first.
Yeah, well, of course.
And I always laugh at them because I'm like, you people, just call it. You know, because it's almost like they're in this giant dick measuring contest. Like the school administrator dick measuring contest of who could be the tough guy and make the decision whether somebody else has to go to school or not. Like, oh, you're tough. You made somebody else drive on these roads.
I always feel like it's always between Howard and Montgomery as who can be like the most righteous.
Yeah.
You know? And then, oddly enough, I always feel like the first one to usually cancel is Hartford, which is like north of Baltimore. But they usually get hit with some snow pretty bad.
Yep.
Baltimore County, though, is super weird because they've got areas west and south of Baltimore, but also way north, like to the Pennsylvania border.
Oh, yeah, like Hereford and all that is and they'll actually close.
Cockeysville's up there. Hereford, Is Hereford up the other way?
No, Hereford's like right on the line, on the Pennsylvania-Maryland line.
Okay, so that's direct. I'm thinking of Hartford and went like Havre de Grace up that area.
So
like
that's
up by Cecil County,
yeah,
up that way. But yeah, so I wonder like if people that live up like north of Cockeysville, like do they take them into consideration, even though like West Baltimore like doesn't have anything?
So I think that furthest northern school up there, which in Baltimore County, there's Hartford County, then there's Hereford, which is an area of northern Baltimore County. And I think Hereford will actually close. They'll close that school, but leave the rest of them open. Frederick County used to do the same thing with Catoctin. So we get, like, they would say either if Frederick County schools were closed, everyone was out. But sometimes they would close Catoctin, which was the furthest northern high school.
Yeah.
Because that was the weather up there. It might as well be Pennsylvania. It might as well be Gettysburg.
Yeah.
So they would close that. Now the rest of the counties all go like, essentially, if one goes down, they all go down.
Yeah.
So, you know, they won't have a 2-hour delay for North County, and then South County gets nothing.
Yeah.
So, you know, it might almost make more sense if they could do that,
Right.
but they don't.
So we wake up, we got snow. School's closed. Kids are psyched because they woke up, they got more snow than they thought. I got one kid sitting in like her little comfy chair. Got the shades on the slider door open, eating her breakfast, just watching snow. Like this is like she got the TV behind her. She's watching the snow. This is her entertainment for the day. And eventually they go out. Now look, I stayed inside. I'm like, I'm not going out there. It's too wet. It's too cold. It's too everything, right? Because I thought initially it was only going to be like 2-3 inches. I figured I'd go out there, I'd just shovel it off, be done with it. And then I saw it was like 10, 11 inches. I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah.
Because usually with us, the next day it'll be warm enough, it all melts. You don't got to worry about it anyway. But in this case, it was not going to be warm enough. So 3:30, I know there's no more snow coming. Pulled out the snowblower. This stuff was so heavy and wet. The snowblower had trouble. Mm-hmm. Like it was getting clogged at points because it was so heavy.
Yeah, I did it by hand, and it was I did my walkway and part of the driveway by hand. The neighbor kid did the sidewalk, but we leave a section of the sidewalk because all the kids sled in my yard, and we built it so they sled across the sidewalk. So if anyone's walking in front of the house and you see the gap, no, I wasn't lazy. It's for the kids to sled across. And partially being lazy. So, but yeah.
You know, you got cursed out a couple times.
Yeah.
I can't walk my dog through this.
Oh,
really?
Well,
it's snow.
Yeah. My dog's paws are going to get infected.
Right.
Okay.
Like they act like it's a wall of snow. Meanwhile, it doesn't break over their shins.
Right.
Like you could have made that. Your dog would have been happy to go through it. In fact, it probably wanted to, and you were pulling it away.
Yeah. Yeah. The dog licks its own butt. It's fine with snow in its paws.
Yeah, we're not talking about the 110-degree pavement. We're talking about snow. If the dog was that uncomfortable, it wouldn't go. It just wouldn't walk on it. It'd
right.
Like, no, I'm good. I'll pee here and I'm going back inside. No, it's like, yes, I want to go frolic in the snow.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law used to have a golden retriever. That thing wouldn't even come inside when it's because they lived up in New Hampshire for years. Mm-hmm. Now they live in like southern, like up over by Gettysburg area. So it snows a lot there.
Yeah.
And his old dog would just go out and just literally just lay in the snow. Like loved being outside. He's got a new one now. Also loves the snow, but is a little bit more indoor cat than the old one was. The old one was pure outdoor dog.
Yeah.
This one's like, I don't know. But it's also younger, so who knows as it gets older. But if dogs were really that uncomfortable, they would just not walk out there.
They just find some place to go hide.
Yes.
And my dog, he is out there. He tries to eat all the snow.
Oh, yeah.
He's not that bright.
My kid also tried to eat all the snow. So my child and your dog, same intelligence level.
They're kindred spirits.
Yes.
But they were out there. We had one dog we had to shovel off. He was a Yorkie. And I had to go outside and shovel a spot because I don't blame him. I mean, the gear's down. The gear, it's gear down and it's dragging in the snow.
Yeah.
I mean, if mine were dragging in the snow,
right.
First of all, I'd be blessed. But
Hashtag blessed.
Yeah. But if mine were dragging in the snow, I don't know if I'd be so hot on it either.
Right.
I don't have that problem. That'd be really deep snow. But I would shovel a spot out for him so he'd go but the one time he didn't like that spot. He wanted a different spot. Oh. And I'm like, you little MFer, like, because he was little. But it was either that or he peed in my house. So I shoveled the backyard. But today, the neighbors probably thought I was an idiot. I was out there in the backyard shoveling snow. And why would you do this? Someone might ask. But I was making a fort. For the boys and I were making a fort. So you make a big pile of snow and pack it in. Then you can dig a tunnel into it. So they're having a lot of fun with that. But yeah, I shoveled the backyard. There was a lot of snow. Shovel.
I'll tell you this, though. It was good packing snow.
Oh, yeah. It was perfect for forts, snowballs, snowmen.
Yeah.
Once it packed in, because we had the kids over at the elementary school on the hill, they were zinging down that hill pretty good, too, once it got that nice pack.
Yeah, once you get down there, then it's starting, especially as it got colder, then you're talking about almost like an ice hill.
Oh, yeah.
Then you might be talking a little bit more in the danger zone.
Yeah. Well, the baby ended up going down the hill, and then there's another hill on the other side, which is cool because it slows them down.
Right, yeah.
But the baby just kept going. He must have hit a patch that was nothing but ice and just zip, and then over into thankfully it's just a parking lot, and there was some Jeep bro out there tearing it up, but he knew the kids were there, so he stayed away from where the kids were coming on the other side.
Yeah, usually, though, there's no cars there, though.
No.
I mean, other than like one of those guys, but they usually don't do it during the day.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so usually it's super, like even if they go on the road, it's safe because no one's driving down there.
Yeah. And I did get out yesterday, but I was in an Explorer. It was fine, you know.
Yours is rear wheel drive, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's all wheel. I mean,
Oh,
or it has 4-wheel drive, so
Oh.
and it has the snow button and all that stuff.
So it kicks in when you don't want it to.
Yeah.
You can't, it's like on the newer cars, you can't disable it.
Yeah.
Like-
Now, yeah. And it has a deep snow sand setting.
Yeah, but that's for more traction. That's not so you
Right.
can do donuts.
Yeah, no. The donuts would have been, I would just taken my wife's car out and done them in reverse.
That's what that snow icon should be on cars.
For donuts.
It should disable the 4-wheel drive for the rear wheel drive cars so you can do donuts. Like, this is what you want to do in snow.
Yeah.
So I'm putting it on snow.
Right. Or just leave it. I mean, there's got to be a way to leave it in sport mode or launch mode or something.
I think no matter what, though, I think the 4-wheel drive system kicks in.
I think it's like an Airbus. So, like, I mean, everyone knows I'm an airplane guy. So, like, Airbus is all, they have flight envelopes, and everything is within parameters. And if the pilot tries to do something that the airplane knows it shouldn't do, it won't let the pilot do it.
Right. Yeah.
Boeing doesn't do that. Boeing lets the pilot have, so, you know, you have your, I think the traction control is like Airbus. It's like, okay, dum-dum, you're having too much fun. We're going to shut this down.
So I think the traction control is different from the 4-wheel drive, though. The traction control, I think you can turn off.
Yeah.
But the 4-wheel drive system will kick in once it senses those wheels slipping.
Right.
Like, traction control is a little bit different, though, and how that works. But regardless, let's get back to the forecast and then our state and local government and their infinite wisdom on how to prepare for all of this. So the state and the local governments, their preparation for this was non-existent.
Right.
They all the people at the state and local level were apparently like Josh and me,
Right.
who said, "Oh no, this is gonna stick. It's gonna come down like rain. It's too warm out. There's no way. No way anything." So there was no salt brine put on any of the
Nothing.
roads.
Yeah.
No regular salt. No sand. The plowers weren't even ready to go.
Yeah. Plus, no one was really talking about this thing till like Saturday night.
If you didn't have Facebook for the weather forecast guys,
Right.
you had no clue this was coming. It was I shouldn't say because I don't watch the local news, so who knows if it was on there. But if they were anything like these other guys, it was like, oh, it'd be 1 to 2 inches, it'd be fine.
Yeah.
And then so we got no salt on the roads, we got no brine on the roads, we got no sand,
There's no truck staged anywhere.
nowhere, and it comes down hard and fast. Like within, I'd say probably 6 to 8 hours, we had 11 inches of snow.
And it got worse It got worse right during the AM commute.
Right. And of
So-
course, people go.
Right.
Right.
And the thing is, sometimes I'll go to work super early.
Yeah.
And there's a legit amount of traffic around here at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So these people are already going, and the people that are on the road at 5 are usually coming from distant Eastern Shore, Delaware, stuff like that. Like, they're already committed. They are gone. And they're coming in. So now they have to get back later, of course. But
Yeah.
they're in.
Well, the problem with this type of snow is once it falls and once it's on the ground and cars are driving over it, they're not dissipating it out the sides of their tires. They're just packing it down.
Yeah.
And when you pack this stuff down, it's ice. Mm-hmm. So, of course, as the commute rolls on, and like in the morning, there's some cars, but there's not really enough to kind of push it out. There's just enough where enough snow will come down so it gets on the ground and then cars drive over it and pack it down. Okay. Well, of course, then all the issues start. I think by 10 a.m., was it 10 or 11 a.m., a major state road by us, roads.
We're having English.
Route 50 in Maryland over by Annapolis was shut down. Mm-hmm. And a semi, I think, was kind of a little cockeyed in the road. Like it was almost like the ship in the Suez Canal a little bit. So they had one lane kind of getting by. And local roads were even worse. Like nothing was getting plowed because I don't know. I don't know whether like they obviously had the drivers on speed dial. Like, they have drivers for these trucks. They literally just didn't have them on standby. Like, did they not want to pay the overtime?
Well, and that's what I don't get, because, generally when they have some advance notice, you'll see it. I used to work crazy hours. So I'd be coming home late the night before a storm, and you'd see the SHA trucks and the contractors staged with dump beds full of salt and whatever and sand, plows sitting there, yellow lights going, just staged at different places on 50, and there was none of that going on.
None.
Of course, we already mentioned there was no brining. You can see the stripes on the road. I mean, they brined one time for rain.
Right.
It did nothing but rain.
Yeah.
So one of the other misses they had when the schools were closed because it rained.
Right.
But they didn't do anything. So
it was so weird.
Yeah.
And so I think even as late as the snow stopped probably around like noon, 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
If that around that. No, there's still no plows on the road. At least not by us. Even by like 4 or 5, nothing. Our neighborhood got plowed because we have a private contractor for the neighborhood that comes through. But the main road, once you got out of the neighborhood, it was like nothing had been touched.
Yeah. So
and then we got another main road, sort of. It's a 2-lane road, but for us it's a main road. Barely got touched.
I'd say that College Parkway is kind of it's arterial. It's,
yeah.
And it was Baydale Drive looked like crap.
Yeah.
I ran out to pick up some little things at the supermarket, but took a bit of a spin and crossed over 50. So 50 is 3 lanes. It only had 2 clear.
Right.
So you're talking about, and it's US 50, but really 50 is an interstate.
Right.
So 3 lanes, limited access all the way to DC from here. So
for people that don't know, 50 is the same road as Route 301. 301 was the major artery going from New York to Florida, I believe. Part of the Route 1 that used to be before the interstates happened. Just it's a decent sized road.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and it's and in fact on some maps you'll see it written as 595.
Oh really?
Oh yeah, if you look at an older ADC street map,
okay,
it'll be on there as 50/595. So I think at one point they were going to name it under the interstate, but they just never did it.
Gotcha.
Because it meets up with the Beltway, it goes to DC.
Right.
It's an interstate.
Yeah.
And it had 2 lanes passable we're talking 8 hours into this thing, and there's only 2 lanes open.
Yep.
So not much traffic, thankfully. A lot of people stayed off. But then there were some around 495 and the Wilson Bridge that decided they had to be out, and they were stuck there for hours and hours.
It wasn't just them, though. It was also on 95. Like, main 95 coming up south of D.C. I read an article up to, I think there were people out there for 20 hours.
Yeah.
At what point do people just get out of the car and shit on the road?
Yeah.
Like, I got to go.
Yeah.
Well, I got to poop.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to the woods. I'm just going to drop trowel right here we go.
Yeah.
It's like San Francisco.
Right. They fit in fine there.
Right.
And that area down there, that southern area of suburban Virginia, that's just awful, Eddie. It could be perfectly clear and dry and still awful.
I don't think I've ever ridden on 95 south of DC, between DC and Richmond, and just gone straight through.
No.
There's always some kind of traffic there.
The only time I've ever done it is since they've opened up the hot lanes.
Yeah.
And I'll look at it, and if the hot lanes are open, I'm in them. I don't care what it costs.
But when they end, the traffic starts again.
Yeah, comes.
It's crazy.
Yeah, they could make that road 10 lanes in each direction, and it would still be backed up.
But the weird thing is, like, as you drive through the traffic, as you get through the other end of it, you literally look around and go, like, why was there this much traffic?
There's no reason for it.
It looks like there's never a reason.
It doesn't make any sense. It's not like there's a merge or a decision point or it's just like all of a sudden it just stops. Like, what is this just an exercise? Like, is this an initiation, right? Like, yay, I survived 95 Franconia. Like,
Get t-shirts made up.
Yeah.
95
and
together.
It doesn't matter what time of day you do it.
No.
Because my parents used to live in the Outer Banks, so I've done it 1,000 times, and going down that way, it's like, okay, it's 4 a.m. There should be nothing here. No, sitting here, looking at brake lights. So it makes no sense. So then you add snow to it, and so 20 hours makes sense.
Yeah, and the other weird part. So I also equate that part of 95 to 95 in Connecticut. For some reason, the traffic there is the same all the time. I just don't get those. Like, I don't know whether you need third lanes or what's going on, but something is just so off about those. Super, you're right. You add snow, you add ice, and now you got a 20-hour backup. Now, I will say that there was an Amtrak train that was coming up from New Orleans to D.C. They got stuck too. So I guess they were on there, I want to say it was 30 hours. The passengers were on that train.
At least you're on a train.
Yeah, but they had no power.
Oh.
And they ran out of food on the train. Like the
cafe car?
The snack car ran out of food. So, but that one was because there was a tree on the tracks.
Yeah.
Like, this snow was heavy. Like, a neighbor of mine, his tree fell over, took out his fence. Like, it just, the weight of the snow took stuff out. Yeah. I'm surprised we didn't lose power, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and the thing
I'm
is,
still waiting. I'm knocking on some wood because I think we're going to get it.
A couple years ago, they reran the lines coming into the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. So this neighborhood used to be on 2 different lines. And it was so frustrating because I was on the side that went out constantly. And I would look, my neighbors behind me would have power, and we wouldn't. And it would be out for days at a time. Now, they finally redid it, and knock on wood, ever since they've done it, it's been pretty reliable. We haven't had these extended outages. Mm-hmm. It's gone a couple hours here or there, but it hasn't been something where it's been super long. And apparently the line that used to come in here ran through the woods and was held together by fairies and magic pixie dust, and the wind would blow, the pixie dust blows off it, and it would just fail. So
my old house was on that same one, and because I moved from 2 miles down the road, and this is about 10 years ago, and I remember, I think it was 2008. I think it was 2008, something like that. We were out. It was that derecho storm came through.
Oh, yeah.
We were out for 4 days. Mm-hmm. And then we had that. I remember that one snowstorm came through. We were out for 2 more days.
There's a hurricane.
A lot of this, we weren't talking an 8-hour outage. Around here, power was going down for 4 or 5 days. It sucked. Which is why when we moved into this house, and I think we kind of have me to thank for these lack of power outages.
Yeah, because you put that generator out.
When we moved into this house, we put that big 14 kilowatt standby generator in here. And you want to know what? I haven't used it that much. Hasn't been used.
But you're the one that's doing it.
But you know what? I'm keeping us all from having to lose power, and thank me.
Right.
I'm very happy with that. Look, everyone's like, yeah, but you didn't have to spend that money to put it in. No. That money was well spent. Even if we didn't have, I got peace of mind.
Yeah.
Even if power goes down, my internet stays up. Mm-hmm. My lights stay on. I can still cook. Look. Yes, that thing was expensive. I get it, but the peace of mind you get from one of those things.
Oh yeah.
You can't quantify that.
Yeah. Now you have yours running right off the gas line from the street, right?
Right after the natural gas.
Yeah. See, we're in my part of the neighborhood. No one has gas.
So they'd have to drop a propane tank.
Right, and then you'd have to hope to be able to get propane. But
the thing is, if you generally what happens is the propane company will give you the tank if it's big enough, and you generally don't have to refill that thing for years.
Yeah,
even if you have extended outages.
Yeah, and there are some. So I was in New York for Hurricane Sandy, and that's a funny story. We were actually in Jamaica for a week in an all-inclusive, 3 days of which were ruined by Hurricane Sandy. Mm. Then we flew home from Jamaica to New York because that's where we had left. Our oldest was he was a little baby. He was 6 months old, and left him with my in-laws. So I flew to Kennedy, took this wild route, because it had the little map that you could follow, and we flew out west over Tennessee, and then came back to avoid Hurricane Sandy. On approach, it was so bumpy, like the overhead bins are opening and like stuff's falling out and the
Right,
lights
the
are
movie.
blinking. And so essentially flew through Sandy to get back, landed in New York, and then couldn't leave because Sandy hit. And that's when they closed all the bridges, the tunnels off of Long Island. So we were stuck. Power's out. There's no fuel to be had anywhere. And I learned about the tri-fuel generators. And they're cool because they run on LNG, propane. I think they run on gas. I mean, they run on all. If it's wet and it burns, they'll run on it.
Right.
So one of the big things then was people were trying to get fuel for their generators, and then people were trying to get fuel for their cars. But all the pumps at the gas stations ran on electricity, so they couldn't get. There's fuel in the ground; they just couldn't get it out
Right.
until they get. But apparently, you can't just use like a regular little generator for that. You need like some decent power to run those pumps.
Right.
And I remember like be like a rumor going around like, oh, the gas station in Hicksville has power, and everyone and the lines would be ridiculous. I'm like, what are we, pioneers?
Yeah.
And I remember looking at the car, and I had a GMC Envoy at the time, and I had a half a tank of fuel in it. And I was thinking to myself, how far can I get? But the thing is, if you went south into New Jersey, it was all the same situation.
Right.
So I'm thinking, so I had it figured out that I could get into Pennsylvania, like northeastern Pennsylvania, get fuel, and then go home that way. But that was my my last resort.
Right.
But we have eventually got out of there, obviously. But yeah, so generators, tri-fuel, or if it runs off the street, just run forever.
Well, like once we found out this place had natural gas, I was like, that's it, we're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because technically, I guess we could run off that thing for indefinitely, as long as the gas lines aren't cut.
Right.
And luckily, I remember every generator salesman was trying to sell us like the 20 or 22 kilowatt generator, and those things are much more expensive than the 14s. Like someone was even like, "Oh, you should get a 17." Like, I was like, "Well, let's break this down in the way I can understand it. How many circuits can I run off of the 17 versus the 14?" And he said, "You get like 3 more circuits." I was like, so it's basically like 1 kilowatt per breaker. So I might be a little bit off on that, but basically I think I got 14 breakers I could keep on, and 3, I think it was 3 or 4 I had to turn off. Like I couldn't keep that on the generator. So
Right.
when the power goes, those don't work. So it's the washer, the dryer, the microwave, and the dishwasher. Those are the 4 I took off. Now the reason why I took off the microwave was because we have a gas stove. So I can cook everything in the stove.
Yeah. How'd you make popcorn?
I cook it on the stove.
In the microwave
No.
bag?
No.
No, I know. I'm a popcorn aficionado. I'm just saying, if you had a bag of microwave popcorn, you're screwed.
People still doing microwave popcorn. I got the Orville, the jug of Orville Redenbacher kernels.
Yeah.
I put the canola or vegetable oil in the bottom of the pan, dump the kernels in.
Yeah.
Away we go. We're
Yep.
popping. I put 2 in.
How do you melt the butter to go on it?
Yeah, that's
You use a pan for that.
I could. Want to know what I actually do? I just take it and put it in the microwave.
But if you're having a power,
Oh, sure. Okay.
Pioneer. You're
so-
back to Pioneer days.
In Pioneer days, I just have salted popcorn. I don't have butter. Although, if I needed to, I could put it in a small saucepan.
Yeah.
I could melt it that way.
Right.
If I was being ambitious. Normally, though, I put it in the microwave.
Right. Yeah. That's what I would do with it.
But the thing is, like any frozen foods we could cook in the oven.
Yeah.
Like the natural gas situation. Like I've never had it before. This is the first house I've ever had it in. I can't say enough about it.
Well, it's funny because growing up, we had natural gas, and then all of a sudden we moved when I moved to Annapolis, the first apartment I had no natural gas, was all electric, and then this is all electric. So I'm kind of in a weird spot. Like now, my in-laws have oil heat. They've got essentially it's diesel. It runs on, it's just non-tax diesel.
My grandparents had that. They had an oil. Well, I think they swapped it. I think they changed it eventually, but I remember going down there. They had the huge oil tank in the basement. Like, I remember being like a little kid. The thing scared the crap out of me. Because when it turns on, the whole furnace system, It was like an explosion in the
Oh
basement.
yeah. They still have radiators in their house, and then so it's got all this, and then a boiler down there. I mean, it's like when you look at it, remember in Home Alone when he goes to the basement and the thing's
Yes.
like talking to him, like
Yep.
that's what they have.
It might. I guess they're not efficient, but man, do they heat up a house.
Oh yeah,
Especially with those baseboard,
yep.
with the baseboard heat, and it
Well,
comes up through.
And the radiators are like they're hot,
Yeah,
and the thing is, it's real dry.
yeah.
So yeah, but I don't really care. I just
You won't go cold though.
no. And as long as the pilot light stays lit
Yeah,
and it can kick over and run it'll run
Yeah.
until the tank's empty. So, but,
So the preparation for this thing was just awful, and I guess we got another storm potentially coming on Friday,
yeah,
and it's like if they don't get the roads cleared, because the roads still aren't great right now, because everything got packed down, and until it warms up enough to kind of melt that ice.
yeah.
I think it kind of did that today a little bit, but there's still parts that aren't great.
Yeah, but the thing is, the plows just skip right over that ice.
Right.
So
like,
I went through my wife asked me to drive through the elementary school this evening, so I drove over there and went around it, and it's plowed, but the surface that you're driving on, it's a lot of ice.
Right.
That just got from the Jeep Bro tearing it up.
Right. Thanks, Jeep Bro.
But, Green Valley was, that parking lot was good. They've got enormous piles of snow over there.
Yeah. So I went over to the Cape Plaza, and that one's fine. But they were also out there, like, scraping pavement down there. Like, they had a crew of people at night. I think they started at, like, 6:30, 7 o'clock. Like, well, I shouldn't say. I was there at 6:30.
Yeah.
They were probably there all day. Because I'll say this, the plaza was clearer than the actual Cape St. Clair Road.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And
Well, that's the funny part. Like, our neighborhood's clearer than now. Right now, it's the same as Shore Acres, but yesterday, the neighborhood looked better than Shore Acres.
oh yeah, a lot better. Like I was driving down Shore Acres, I didn't feel safe on it.
Yeah. So yeah, it was now the parking areas and stuff. The shoulders, like I'm parking my car in a pile of snow, but I just smash right through it. Like,
Yeah, that's the one thing. Like having a driveway is nice. I mean, you fit 2 cars in your driveway. For the
yeah.
most
So
part,
I've got
but you
my,
have a third car.
Yeah. Yeah. So
that kind
yeah,
of screws you a little bit.
So the one car that I never drive is in the driveway.
Yeah.
And then her car's in there, which I remember front wheel drive cars being better in the snow than, so like I had my '04 Taurus. Like as long as it could keep its wheels on the ground, like it was going, plow through anything.
Yeah.
But then her car with the traction control, like it's a mess. Like
That's surprising though.
yeah, I can't, because it's a Sienna, so it's a big, heavy vehicle with most of the weight on its front wheels. I think it's like 70-30 front rear weight distribution.
Right.
And it's just like it barely makes it up the into the driveway when there's a little bit of snow. So
You got a steep driveway.
yeah, but now the other car is just in there buried in snow.
Yeah.
And it will stay there until it melts off.
Right. Right.
So
I was trying, like when I was we were driving the Ford Edge. I was driving that to go get the pizza, and I had to be very aware of the grade of ground I was on. So like going, like there's a little bit of it. It's not a big hill, but there's enough of a hill going to Norton for me. So, and because there was some snow there that wasn't cleared, I had to make sure I kept my momentum going.
yeah.
Without going through and sliding onto the road, onto Norton. And I remember having to do that going from Norton to Shore Acres too. Because, I mean, even though we had gotten plowed, as more plows come, they're pushing the snow into our neighborhood a little bit.
Right.
And so for me, if I stopped, I don't think I was getting out. Like on those 2 roads, I don't think I could have. I had to keep moving. Luckily, there were no cars coming either time, so I could. But then the same thing happened from College Parkway onto Shore Acres. Like there was like just that on that turn, there was some snow there, so I had to be real careful to not gun it and make it so I couldn't turn and not hit the car
Yeah.
as I was turning. That was stopped at the red light there. So, but I mean, that also comes from people who have driven in snow before. Like, you know what to look for and know how to do it.
Well, yeah.
People down here have no clue.
No, and the thing is, I made it through all my college in Pennsylvania dealing with that snow in 2 Camaros.
Yeah.
You know, one of which was an IROC Z28. So, like, you know, I that's the car I had. That's how I was getting to work and to class was in. Now, the first one was easier as a manual. I could start in 2nd or 3rd gear. But the other one's an automatic, and it was like on rubber band. It was like, I mean, I think it had the same traction as a roller skate wheel until you smoke the tires up, which you can't just do burnouts all the time. But here it's like they just don't. I don't know what. Now, part of the problem with this area is there's a lot of transients. So, you know, and then we don't.
You think that's the same for here, though?
No, I'd say the DC.
It's more DC, right? In Montgomery County, I'd say the closer you get to DC, the more transient it is.
Right, Fairfax.
I think like PG and Anne Arundel and even Calvert. I don't think that's that transient. I mean, there's some, but there isn't that much.
Yeah, but then, you know, you see them and it's like, first of all, now granted I was one of them, but I know what I'm doing. Why are you out driving around?
Right.
Why are you out here? You know, we just spent the last 2 years teleworking. You mean to tell me that today
you had to get out?
Today you couldn't telework? And you'd see just knuckleheads out driving like, what are you doing? Why are you, like, why? I don't want to be out here.
Right.
I'd rather be at home.
Well, it's like, look, you don't got to take your kids anything because it all got canceled. You know, there's no activities, there's no school. Like, unless you got to get sustenance, which, I mean, as I'm saying this, like, I didn't have to go out.
Right. I didn't need the potato chips that I bought.
Right. I didn't need to go to Pizza Hut. Right. But Pizza Hut sounded a lot better than the chicken nuggets in my freezer. So, you know, I got, well, the funny part is, so we were those assholes that tried to like do pizza delivery. So we went through the app and we put it through, and the whole time we're saying, there's no way they're going to let this go through. There's no way. And we're putting in the credit card. There's no way this is going to get accepted. No way. Everything goes through. Mm-hmm. As soon as she hit the button to order it, my wife, as soon as she hit the button to order it, we got a phone call from the Pizza Hut that says, yeah, we don't have anyone to deliver this for you, but if you want to come get it, you can come get it. So we're like, should we go get it? Should I go get it? All right, I'm going to go get it. Not that Pizza Hut's awesome, but I was starving at that point, and every time you start, like, Pizza Hut sounded fantastic at that point.
Monday night, you have 2 places that have the Monday night special.
Yeah, I didn't know if they were open.
They were. That's what we did.
Okay.
Because I went out for pizza, too. Okay. I went out twice. The first time I went out, I desperately needed Pam. The stuff you spray. Why do you need Pam, might you ask?
Yeah.
Well, for those of you who don't know, Pam makes sleds go a lot faster.
Yes, they do.
So I was spraying the kids' sleds with Pam. And
Safety
I ran
first.
out. So I needed, can't see the air quotes. Eventually we'll get the video. I needed Pam. And then while I was there, I figured I might as well get potato chips too. So
look, you're already there.
Yeah.
The hard part's already done.
Right. So I bought that, and then I'm like, no, let's see what the neighborhoods look like. So I'm driving around through neighborhoods like an idiot. You know, so yeah, I was one of them. But again, I know what I'm doing.
That's
and
right. I've driven in this before. I'm good.
Yeah.
Like, some of these other students don't know what they're doing. It's like, come on. Like, I get accidents happen. Again, we'll do air quotes for that too. But some of those accidents didn't need to occur if the person behind the wheel wasn't stupid.
Right. Well, like, and there's some things like, it's so much of it's momentum.
Yeah.
Keep your momentum up, but keep yourself under control. And then minimize your inputs into whether it's acceleration, braking, or steering, minimize your inputs. And if the car starts sliding a little bit, don't immediately try to fight it. Eventually, the car, as long as you're not on pure ice, eventually it's going to kind of figure out where it wants to be, and then you just but you'll see them, they'll start saw on the wheel, and next thing you know, they've completely lost it.
Well, plus these donkeys have all-wheel drive, and they think that all-wheel drive makes them invincible.
Right, but yeah.
As the guy who sold me my first all-wheel drive vehicle, he said, "Look, all-wheel drive will help you go. All-wheel drive does not help you stop."
Right.
And that was the best advice I ever got.
Yeah, tracked vehicles will slide on ice. In fact, if you look in, because there's been a bunch of it on, because I follow a bunch of history stuff, because Battle of the Bulge took place during this time of year, you'll see videos of Sherman tanks just sliding down icy roads. Sliding. They're tracked vehicles. Nothing's moving on them, and it's sliding down the ice. So, yeah, it doesn't help you stop. But while I was out at Green Valley, the other thing for those of you who are listening that aren't from the old DMV, for whatever reason, and I'm not sure if this is specific to here, this is the only place I've ever seen it, people lose their minds and go to the store and prepare for Snowmageddon.
Oh, God.
So I actually legit needed milk. That's another thing. So I needed Pam, and then my wife said buy milk. But my primary mission was Pam. So okay, well I'm out. So I'll get potato chips and milk.
Listen, you're already there.
Yeah,
you might as well pick up some other things.
Yeah, and I'm like, I can use some half and half because I'm running low on that too. No half and half. All of it's gone.
Really?
Yes, the half and half, all gone.
I guess people gotta get their coffee on.
Yeah. So then, if half and half is empty, now I prefer light cream. Some people call it table cream.
Sure.
It's a little heavier than half and half, but they don't sell it anymore. If I can't get half and half, I'll go like decadent and get heavy whipping cream. That was gone too.
Wow.
Like, what are you people making whipped cream?
Yeah, what do people do?
What are you doing? Go buy some Cool Whip.
Was there any milk?
No.
So there's no milk either.
So there was milk.
Oh.
If you wanted skim milk, if you wanted a gallon of milk, you need to get skim milk, which is like drinking dishwater. So I have 3 growing boys. Skim milk's not going to cut it.
No.
So I like to get 2%. I can only get a half gallon, the milk carton size of, or unless I want to go because they have this is our locally sourced organic milk in a glass bottle. It costs
$20. Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
$8.95 for a quart. Yeah. No thanks.
Meanwhile, the gallon is $3.
It came out of the same stupid cow that this other milk came from.
Exactly.
that it came from the Cloverland Farms.
But this one eats wheatgrass. Yeah. Get out of here. It's a freaking cow.
Right. It cares. It doesn't care. So I ended up with that. Eggs were gone. A lot of cheese was gone. The bread section was looking thin.
They probably had a lot of Totino's pizza rolls.
Yeah, Totino's.
So we got those for New Year's.
Those are the best.
I forgot what my taste buds were missing.
So I like the Totino's pizzas. They are. Did we talk about Totino's
yes,
pizzas?
We did. Yes, we did.
Get 2 of them. Because you're going to want to eat the second one when you make the first one.
For New Year's Eve, I got the pizza rolls, the Totino's pizza rolls. They introduced my daughters to them for the first time. They weren't a big hit.
For them.
Yes.
But that was your payday.
Oh, yeah. You kidding me?
Sometimes I'm tempted to make stuff my kids don't like that I do on purpose.
So I took out a half a bag of Totino's pizza rolls by myself. not the small bag, like the 50 count. I took 25.
I wonder if you could put those in a deep fryer.
They're already fried. You got to bake them.
Yeah, fry them again.
Speaking of the air fryer, that's one thing I got to talk to you about because I know you have an air fryer.
Yeah,
I don't have an air fryer.
You need to get one.
I need to get one.
We use it all the time. In fact, Sunday we did steaks, and because Sunday night I made steaks.
Yeah.
I didn't put them in the air fryer.
Oh, okay. I thought that's where we were going here.
No, I reverse seared them. No, there is a setting for steak on the air fryer. I'm like, who the hell?
Hard pass.
First of all, what kind of cheap ass steak are you putting in here?
Right.
But no, I did baked potatoes in the air fryer. Oh. So I start them in the microwave because I'm impatient. And then after that, I put those in the into the air fryer to crisp them up.
Okay.
And it takes 15 minutes in the microwave because I did 5 of them, and then throw those in the air fryer. Get a big one though, Get like the gallon basket because you can put a ton of stuff in it.
That's what I was going to ask you about. Like, what size?
Yeah, get whatever size you think it's like buying a boat. Whatever size boat you think you'd need, that you'd want, that you'd be happy with, go the next size up. Because the second you get it, you'll be like, I should have gone bigger.
Got it.
So look at the get the one that has, you've got a family of 4, get the biggest one you can get.
I'm going to get whatever Costco's got, probably.
Yeah. Yeah. So the one I have, I mean, I think the basket is a gallon, and it has a like a shelf, like this wire basket looking thing.
Okay.
So I can do 2 layers of whatever.
Nice.
So I can put like mozzarella sticks are hitting that. So I can do mozzarella sticks, or if I want to do like chicken nuggets and tater tots, tater tots in the bottom. They take a little bit longer, so they go first. Pull that out, put the basket in with the chicken nuggets on top, and I've got a meal done for the kids. And they don't really like tater tots, which again, for me. So,
look, sometimes we got to take those W's.
Well, no, because I look at the food as if I eat it. So if I make tater tots for the kids and the kids don't like it, and then I eat that doesn't count.
Right.
It doesn't count towards my calorie count.
Not at all.
Because I'm performing a service at that point. I'm helping. Because otherwise, we're going to throw these tater tots away.
You're preventing food waste.
Right.
That's what you're doing.
So I am taking one for the team. Mm-hmm. In fact, really,
Team Earth.
When you think about it, those calories should count in the negative.
They should.
So say I eat 2,000 calories worth of unwanted tater tots. Mm-hmm. That should give me 2,000 more calories that I could eat. And that's why I weigh 400 pounds.
But it should the negative calories should be the amount of CO2 you saved from going in the atmosphere, from having them be in a landfill.
Because they'd be biodegradable. Yeah. No, really.
I'm sure that makes sense somewhere.
Yeah,
right?
I'm sure some greenie out there, look, I can be politically fluid. Like, hey, climate change, big deal. I'm preventing that. But no, I think that I should be able. Really, when I do that, I should get like a trophy,
right?
An award of some sort.
They're giving them out for everything anyway.
Yeah,
why not this? This is
legit service,
saving the environment. Okay, environmentalist show right here. This is the green show.
Yeah.
We're talking about snow. Mm-hmm. We're talking about saving food, not food waste. I mean, look, where else are you going to find this kind of stuff?
This content is definitely top notch.
It is. Speaking of which, we kind of got away from the snow issue. By the way, state of Maryland, hey, you suck at this. Thanks for not doing anything. That really helped us out for 3 days, which is why our kids aren't going to school probably tomorrow.
Yeah, they're at 2 hours now.
It's going to turn into cancellation.
I bet the kids today at dinner. So the kids, we normally don't watch TV, but today I let them watch. My oldest was talking about Spooky. Like, what would you do? Like, I've got a spooky story. I said, there's an airplane they call Spooky. He said, what? I said, yeah, it's called the AC-130 Spectre gunship. And then even the little ones, like the peanuts, they're like, ooh, what's that? AC airplane gunship. I'm in. So then we're watching videos of the AC-130 in action.
Just gunning people down.
It's
good wholesome dinner. Dinner theater right there.
Yeah. So, hey, America, right?
Yeah.
But
those were Afghans, kids. Now they're shot.
Right. That's those were terrorists who wanted to hurt freedom, and now they're hurting nothing.
That's right.
So we watched that, but I don't know how I got down on that tangent. But but at dinner, I bet the kids, the two that go to school, I said, I bet you guys $1 you're going to school. And they're like, no, I'll take that bet. I'll take that. I said, you're going to school tomorrow. And it's funny because the oldest one's just starting to talk a little smack. He's starting to learn how. So my wife was asking him if he managed to get all of his teachers their gifts, because I think one of them wasn't there before Christmas. This will be the first time they've been to school since Christmas.
Right.
And he said, no. I said, well, they're in my locker. I said, is there $1 in that locker? And he said, what? I said, to bring me when you come home from school tomorrow.
Oh, man.
So, yeah.
Well, I hope they go, because it's time for them to go back. I've had enough time with the family. It's like, see you guys.
Yeah, because it's been almost
2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's like summertime. Like, because I work from home, Like I go down to the basement where we are right now, and I do work what I do, and it's nice because the house is quiet, right? But when they're here, it just kind of messes up my entire schedule. And over the summertime, like there's sometimes I'll just I'll go somewhere and just that has Wi-Fi and I'm there, or I take my phone with Wi-Fi with me, whatever it is. So for having them here for 2 weeks, I'm like, look, that's what everyone's like. Oh, are they home because of COVID? No, they're home because we got a stupid snowstorm and the state didn't do anything about it.
And the thing is, I'll even give them the day for schools.
Yeah. These roads should be cleared today.
Yeah. 11 inches is significant. And I know Broadneck High School had a tree down across the driveway, so like they have to get that thing out of there.
Here's the thing, like where I grew up in upstate New York, a foot of snow, the bus came and got you. You were going to school.
Yeah, and the thing is, those buses. Yeah. So I used to drive a mattress truck back in the day. It was an International T1600 or something, which is the same exact chassis they build school buses. So they build everything on this chassis.
Isn't it the Freightliner?
Well,
I guess different chassis. Yeah,
but it's the same. It had a 7.3 power stroke. I mean, the thing was they were solid vehicles, but essentially it was a 23-foot box, which is the same wheelbase that they build the school buses on, and that thing would seriously. They're so heavy, they just get through everything.
Right.
They're rear-wheel drive, obviously, but they don't care. No. They just plow right through it because they just smash their way down to the ground, and they just go. Worst
case, I mean, up where I used to live, they put chains on the tires, and they'd be just fine.
Yeah, and chains. I mean, chains are incredible. I never realized how effective they were till we had our Snowmageddon in 2010, and just being able to rip it with chains. Now they're allowed.
Oh, yeah. You're not sneaking up on anybody. You're not ninja someone. You're not going to come out and take someone out.
When you see the chains hit the pavement without snow, they're sparking all. It looks cool. But we should do this on all four wheels all the time. They're really great for snow, but really bad for everything else.
Just chewing up the road.
Oh yeah, just awful. But I meant they're still you still get studded tires, and they're terrible on regular. They just chew roads up. But I'll give them the days, but I guess the boys are a little different because you just throw them outside and they fight, and then if they get bored, you just eventually they'll just resort to combat. So,
and the girls went outside. They did what they were going to do. They mostly argued with each other, like you said. And then eventually one gets sick of the other one. They come inside and they want to be warm, and they either watch a movie or do whatever, but or play with Play-Doh. I don't know. I feel like at this age they kind of do whatever they're going to do. They don't need me as much. Like the youngest one, the 6-year-old, wants to show me everything, or wants to show my wife everything. Like, Mommy, look at this. Mommy, look at this. Mommy, just leave your mother alone.
Yeah, I think the problem that I have, because I had some Zoomers and stuff like that, was if I'm there, the kids think I'm there at their disposal. It's like, no, dude, I'm down here, I'm in this. I have this Zoom call. I'm in the meeting with my boss's boss, and hey, luckily though they're cool. Like, oh hey, look at the kids, and the kids wave and all this stuff. But it could be a different scenario where someone's a complete. What are your kids doing there? Because they live here, dick. What do you think?
Because they're home from school and I got to work. Is what it is.
I'm on your stupid Zoom call. Right. All right.
Right.
But they were, and the kids generally, but it's kind of like, hey, I got something to do, and I'm not here for your disposal. I have to take care of this.
Right.
But Daddy, when are we going outside? When are we going outside? With the boys, I have to drag them in. They're visibly cold. The baby's face is just bright red. It's like, dude, go inside. No. It goes, and then they cry, they want to go inside. But then the second they get inside, now all the blood starts returning to their hands, and it hurts. And then they're like, we could have gone in had we listened to me.
Right.
Why would we do that? But no, it gives my wife a break because they want to be outside with me. They, that's more fun.
Yeah. Well, next time Maryland, the Anne Arundel County and Maryland need to step up this snow removal. I felt like they had what, 12 hours about that to get the snow gone, and they didn't.
They did nothing.
They didn't do anything. It's like, these kids should have been in school today. If it was any other place or a place like further north, they would have had these roads cleared.
And I almost wonder how like SHAs ran, because Western Maryland, they get snow, especially at like west of Hagerstown.
Yeah.
It's up in the mountains. It's further north. Just the way the weather patterns are, they get snow essentially from like, it's like West Virginia, Pittsburgh type weather. And
they got snow like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
They didn't miss any school.
No. And I've been out there, this time of year with snow, and you drive out 70 and it's perfect, perfectly fine. So I guess.
So come on, Larry, Governor Larry, and good old Stu. Use your last year in office to get some snow cleared.
He could get reelected.
Huh?
He could get reelected.
He will not get reelected. You really look.
I'm trying to be hopeful.
Now that I've said it, he probably will get reelected. But I think there's no shot that dude gets elected. But that was our fun little snow episode. If you come down to Maryland, just apparently the snow is going to be here for like a month. So be prepared to stop for a while. Thank you to Private Internet Access. Again, check out the website. Click on the link if you need a VPN. Protect your credit card information online. I know we're all shopping online these days. Really cheap on the monthly basis to just protect yourself. Get your credit card out of the dark web. And we will see you next time.